You have a special connection, I think, with the Financial Times because you had a summit recently. Tell me first of all what that summit was all about, survivorship.
In January 2014, I organized the first EORTC Cancer Survivorship Summit to highlight the societal challenge faced by patients who are cured of cancer.
Now, as a result of that, and we're here together in Madrid for the ESMO meeting, you've written an article in the Financial Times, and let me quote this. It says, "Society needs to ensure that cancer survivors can get their lives back." Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, during the last 40 years, we have made tremendous progress in the management of patients with cancer. And now we have to face new societal challenge. What do patients face as problems like, for example, getting a job, getting an insurance, a mortgage, and so on. And people are not aware about those discrepancies, discrimination in countries, and I want to promote a societal issue for patients.
Because cancer is a big success story. Survivorship has increased greatly in recent decades, hasn't it?
Yes, it is tremendous to see the progress that we have made, and this is taking time and clinical research, and EORTC has been on the forefront of those progress. For example, for curing children with leukemia, patients with testis cancer, breast cancer, and Hodgkin's disease, for example. But now those patients are facing issues that we could even not imagine 40 years ago.
And so what are the key issues that you want to highlight?
The key issues are their way back to the normal life. Not only medical complications, for example, like sterility, but mainly societal issue. How do they get a job? How do they keep their job? How do they get an insurance for traveling or a mortgage to be able to buy a home or to buy an industry, to become an entrepreneur? So when you live with the word cancer, it's sometimes difficult to make sure that they have a normal life.
Why is this such a negative thing in their lives? They've survived, they're alive, they're doing well.
Well, probably CEOs and human resource departments still consider the diagnosis of cancer as a death sentence. And that is why we organized this summit in January and a follow-on that is going to be organized already in 2016 because of the stigma of cancer is no longer a death sentence.
Okay, so there's a call to action. What action would you like to see?
What we would like to see is long-term data and long-term follow-up. When we speak to bankers and insurers, they tell us, give us the data. We don't have the data to estimate the risk and the premium. And so what is essential at this time of the European Commission establishing new regulation for data privacy, and we respect data privacy, but we have to make sure that you can follow up patients for up to 20 years, keep database, contact the patient, knowing what they are facing. And if we are not allowed to pursue those long-term data follow-up, it's going to be useless.
Now, bankers are pretty good with numbers. What about employers, though?
Yes, that is another message that we are going to try to make true, is that employer, CEO, needs to know that those patients are fully capable to recover and to be able to take on jobs and to climb in the ladder on the jobs. And that's why next year in the spring, either April or May, I'm going to organize a cancer and employment forum dedicated to CEOs to make sure that they are sensitized and that they understand the problematic of keeping and putting back former cancer patients to work.
Confidentiality, though, is a big issue. Why should patients have to tell everybody about the fine details of their risk profile and their disease?
They should not tell everybody, and we claim that we could do that on an anonymous way. What the insurer and the banker wants is establishing risk, not personal data of each individual, but to be able to do that in groups of patients and to have database on anonymous.
So how would you summarize the issues that you've been addressing here and the way forward?
Well, the way forward is that it's a good message, it's a positive message. Cancer is no longer a death sentence, but we are facing new challenge, we are positive challenge, which means that the patient should be able to have a normal life after cancer, and that indeed there is a life after cancer.
And finally, briefly, what should cancer doctors be making of all of these issues you've been raising?
The doctor have to be aware that there is a need for long-term follow-up, and that there has a very important issue on related quality of life issue and so on. And they are all collaborative because doctors are obviously happy to see their patient 20 years later.